Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and Happy New Year. I honestly wish every one of you a fantastic year, one that is filled with a lot of joy, happiness, successes, accolades, achievements, good health. You know, it's going to be a really fantastic year for all of us. I really feel it. And this year, like my friend said, it's the year of the bag. So we have to keep our eyes on the prize. We have to be all about the mullah. So in this video, I will chronicle the policies that the CBN issued from January up until December and their impact on the banking industry. So fasten your seatbelt and let us get right into it. So in January, like the first major policy that the CBN put out was the regulatory sandbox framework. Now, what's a sandbox? Sandbox is a regulatory or regulated environment where innovators, tech bros would basically test a product before they launch it into the market. So this helps the CBN to understand the product and then to come up with appropriate regulation for that product. So the CBN basically saying, before you launch a product into the market, bring it to us. We would put it in a test environment. We'll see how it works. We'll bring people or customers to try the product out, and then we'll learn about the product so that we can basically regulate it effectively. And of course, it looks as if tech is way ahead of the regulators, and the regulators right from the beginning of when tech became a thing in Nigeria has been playing catch up. So a lot of people would have started operating for years before the CBN now wakes up and starts regulating. So a sandbox environment is the way the CBN is trying to get ahead of the environment, that is the tech environment, learn about the product so that it can regulate it effectively. So that was in January. Now in February, of course, early February, the CBN released the framework for open banking in Nigeria. Now, open banking, very interesting stuff. So if you want to understand open banking in the simplest form, simply means the form of banking that allows you as a customer to give permission to your bank to share your data with other banks and basically other financial service providers or payment service providers, PSPs. So think about piggy vests, right? Going to your banks, GT, you have a bank account in GT, Access, and Zenith Bank. Now with open banking and the guidelines actually provide for a common banking industry application programming interface. So think about the application programming interface like a motherboard where everybody plugs in and can see what is happening at the same time. So once the API shares the data across these banks and your financial services provider, like PiggyVest for instance, on the PiggyVest app with open banking, you'll be able to see your bank account balances across those different banks. Those banks can also tell, or PiggyVest can tell, how much you have in this bank, how often do you withdraw, do you make payments, if you've taken a loan before, how did you pay. So it allows them to be able to analyze those data and then use the data that they have to provide services to you. So if they want to provide you with loans, for instance on CreditPal or any other platform, OPay, that gives loans, with that amount of data they have about you, they can determine your credit limit. So they can say this person receives over 300,000 naira and makes income here and there, would be able to take a loan of 100k conveniently and pay at the end of the month. Or they can say, oh, this person makes 5 million, they can take a loan of 1 million naira conveniently. So that is, open banking is going to be revolutionary. It's already happening, and then it was originally introduced in 2017, but the framework came out in 2021 to regulate it. And there are so many players in the platform. The first Nigerian company to provide open banking API was OnePipe, and then there were other ones that have come along. There is Mono, and there is Now the other one skips my mind now, which is also very popular, okra. Yes, so that is what open banking will do for everybody in the sector. Now in the same February, right, if you recall, the CBN released that devilish guidelines or circular rather on the restriction of cryptocurrency trading in Nigeria, basically telling the banks that if you help anybody to buy or sell cryptocurrency, I'm going to penalize you or sanction you. Now, if you know of any account, any customer that is trading cryptocurrency with their bank account, close that bank account and give that customer their money, not freeze the account. Now, there's a difference between freezing an account. If you freeze an account, you're freezing the account, you're blocking it and the money in it, and until the investigation on it is true, and then that you're cleared of any allegations before the money is released. But when an account is closed, you're basically saying you can't bank with us, take back your money. So the CBN is essentially saying that cryptocurrency is not illegal, but I don't want you to bring that mess into my house. So basically I am saying that do not trade cryptocurrency because it is volatile and it can affect the banking industry and the banking system. So that was what the CBN, and then we're going to, of course, we'll get to the interesting part of how all of this became an issue for Bamboo and the rest of them later on in the year. So that's February. So in March, the CBN did something also very interesting. 2 or 3 years before the pandemic, the CBN had granted some loans to certain companies through a few Nigerian banks, and it is called the CBN intervention loans or the CBN intervention facilities. Now, that loan was granted for a number of years and at an interest rate of 9%. But because of the pandemic, many of these industries were not able to sell or buy. There were very few economic activities going on. So the CBN started to offer what you call a forbearance. So it's a way of giving somebody the grace, or even discounting what the person ordinarily also have paid you. So the CBN gave a forbearance on the interest rate, lower the interest rate from 9 to 5% for all of these loans already disbursed. And in March of 2021, originally it was extended from February of 2020 to February of 2021. That was the grace period they were supposed to enjoy it. But because the pandemic, there was another variant and all of that, the CBN decided to extend that forbearance from February of 2021 to February of 2022. So it is not clear now with the Omicron and the rest of it whether the CBN will further extend this forbearance. But those loans CBN had given in yesteryears, under the CBN intervention facilities, now enjoy a reduced interest rate of 5%, and it has been extended up until February of 2022. Now, in the same March as well, the CBN released, if you remember, the Naira for dollar scheme in March of 2021. So what does the scheme basically say? It is basically to encourage, and at that time, and since 2020, the major source of foreign exchange for Nigeria, for those who don't know, is crude oil. So from crude oil sale, or from crude sale, right, CBN actually gets the most number of FX. So meaning, if crude prices are going up, more money for Nigeria, more foreign exchange. So when people go and buy foreign exchange to pay school fees, to buy shares and all of that, there is enough supply for the demand. So the prices, the exchange rate would be normal. The Naira would be doing well, would appreciate. So because we do not have other sources of foreign exchange, whatever happens to the price of crude oil would effectively affect our FX revenue, and as such there will be shortage of FX, of dollars. There will be more demand, and there will be lower supply, so Naira will start to fall and then dollar will become more expensive. Capish? Like, that is just simple economics. So basically, the CBN is then started, it had to become very innovative. Now, what are the other ways that we can bring dollars into the country? So it says, well, Nigerians abroad send dollars home, every time. And if you see, diaspora remittances are in the millions of dollars. So the CBN thought that they should incentivize our brothers and sisters abroad to send more dollars home so that the CBN would have more dollars. But in order to do that, it is encouraging them by giving them an incentive, saying that for every dollar that you send home, you're going to, whoever you're sending it to, the beneficiary will receive extra 5 naira. So if you send if you send 500 or say 100 dollars, it will be 500 naira, I believe, and then just keep calculating it like that. So that program was launched, or the initiative was launched in March of 2021, and it was supposed to last up until May of 2021. But then the CBN in May further extended it indefinitely. So up until today, for every $1 that is received from abroad, the recipient will get 5 naira in it. But it has to be sent through the banks. That is the condition. It has to be sent through formal means. Now, in May of 2021,